What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. You gotta own when you're wrong sometime. I do that plenty here on Market Watch, and I live reacted to the pre-sales for the TINS in the last video, and Gamer's Choice had a deal at $150 where you could use code What'sGood5 for 5% off and to support the channel directly on every single quarter century secret rare in the set. And I initially thought that doesn't seem that great. It only takes about 2 cases to see them all. You'll have a little left over, and it turns out with the math it's actually a pretty nice deal. Right now the cases are floating in Facebook groups at around the $180, and then they still get to go for estimated value pulled on, say, prismatic secret rares, but those rates are awful, aren't they? So with the quarter century secret rares and there being so many that'll probably age well, like Bahamut Shark's about to pick up and see use, you have the Blue Eyes and Dark Magician Girl. Actually, specifically that, the Blue Eyes also went up in price during the pre-sale range due to demand, but this set in particular, they've now sold out at $180, and if you, a consumer, were to open 2 cases of TINS, it would be pretty astronomically unlikely that you don't get enough duplicates to where you did complete the set. You'd have to be extremely lucky in order to see the complete set between 2 cases of TINS, and that would cost you $360 at the current market to do. And even if the TINS fail, like in the years past, and they go 140, that would be $280. They go down to 125, that would be $250 to rip into 2 cases. You see where I'm going? 150 was a pretty good price, and 180 wasn't all that bad. I immediately did realize it after posting and watching my own video, because I do that to make sure there's not errors. I was like, yeah, I got this one wrong. I also corrected myself in the comments section, and I got them to relist initially at the same price of 150, and then they finally bumped it up after they sold out of those, and they've sold out once again higher. Now, it is a bit more expensive at tier 0 at 196, but it is EU print, and this is free shipping to most areas if you're buying this bundle internationally, so do calculate that into the cost, because EU singles do have that different kind of demand, especially here in the US, and their cases of TINS are a bit more expensive to end up shipped over here. You can use code What'sGood5 for 5% off and to support the channel directly. It does cost a good chunk more at this point, though. Let's go ahead and get into some of the techs and other cards that are rising because they weren't in the TINS. Power Sync Stone's an oldie from Starstrike Blast, and it has one other printing that is also getting bought out at this point. It's not like a ridiculous buyout yet, but Runic players be missing extra copies of Skill Drain. You can see $2, and then it just keeps going. There's light plays, etc. So Starstrike Blast card. Each time the effect of an effect monster is activated, so that includes you being able to power up this card into a floodgate, place 1 spellstone counter on this card, max 2. While there are 2 spellstone counters on this card, face up effect monsters on the field cannot activate their effects, and their effects are negated. During the end phase, remove all spellstone counters on this card. So with Runic, you're pretty much able to fulfill these conditions and make it happen with your own cards and get your effects while then stopping your opponent from being able to play. Ingenuity with floodgates here in 2024, but clearing some boards is also very nice. Every single version of Evenly Matched feels like it's slowly creeping on up. Great card. And the quarter century secret rare we covered was in buyout mode. I just want to point out all the nice mid-max ones are starting to go lower in quantities and up in price, including the secret rare holo. So you might want to get the version you were thinking of getting sooner than later using that TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly. Okay, cards that missed the TINS. This already had a reprint though. Rescue Ace Hydrant. People did see it in action a bit at Worlds. This card is going really crazy for its collector rare, and people are like, must be nice to not be scared of Bonanza in my Discord. There is that secondary reprint set looming where they're going to have those 200 nostalgia pools, but it's also going to act like a regular rarity collection where they're going back to metagames and hitting stuff, so that's a very good point in my book. Also, Vanquish Soul Caesar is up here, and we can see it is going out on just the easy access ultra. You want to be able to play this deck? I got that piece you're missing is basically what people are doing. And also, Mirror Logic Aggregator is also going up. I almost thought it was Meteorologic for some reason in my head. But yeah, this card seems to have missed the tens and is definitely spiking up in prices. People just grab this super rare. But you can see it's calming back down from that. Now there's a card that got printed in the Light Duelist pack that people are now buying out cards for again. It's called 7th Tachyon, and essentially you're able to reveal a number Xyz monster that has a number between 101 and 107, a very specific range, in its name in your extra deck, and you add one monster whose level equals the revealed monster's rank and has the same type or attribute, it's an or there, as the revealed monster. So people were here labbing what could get grabbed, what you could do with the card, and here we see number 103 is on buyout mode for Ragna Zero, which is a fairy, which is different than what 101 does. We covered the 101 buyout thinking it was only for hat, but it turns out it could be for a little bit more. Number 104 also is just ridiculous. This was a Tech and Necros format that was originally expensive, and I don't think ever got a reprint, if I'm not mistaken. Number 104, let's double check on that real quick. Yeah, just out here. I know I've pulled a ton of these out of bulk. It went to like $3, I want to say, during Necros format, and then maybe a max of 7 during some niche events. But 13 is what people are asking now on the Unlim. And then there's number 106 Giant Hand. Probably not going to move the meter on the prize card, but if you're just looking for that gold rare, it's starting to get a little less accessible. So be aware that's the reason this specific range of numbers is moving, and not just, oh yeah, hat format's a thing. Centurion Axiala, I hope I'm not murdering the name too hard, is one of those core set Centurion synchros. Face-up cards in your spell and trap zone cannot be destroyed by card effects, so it also can protect floodgates. Yep, generically, because it doesn't take anything specific, but obviously is way better in Centurion and has spiked up in price, and you can see here the lowest is around $12. Jirak got new support. Prices go burp. What else is new? I can't really add too much to that other than people are taking the support pretty seriously, and there's like the ultimate fan out there showing off his collection, and it's really freaking cool. But ridiculous spikes at this point on it, in my opinion. And then you also have Fabled, which I would think could be taken to that next level as a deck. We already had Fabled buyouts going to play with the modern metagame, but here we go into the deck getting support at this time, and you can see stuff like Valkyrus DT absolutely disappearing. Then we have the actual hat format buyouts. Moral Tech is getting bought out for the format. You also have Soul Charge going. I wouldn't expect this off the FNL list anytime soon, but then again, I said that about Grass, and look where we are. So it's kind of that nice midpoint where, oh, this format is also taking off, but it's also on the list, and if anything ever happened, I already have one. People love cards in those ranges, and the holographics are both going wild. Duel Saga, remember, the EU printing is absolutely taco bent warped. I opened some of those and got so mad I didn't even upload the video because I was just so disappointed and disgusted, and watched it back and I was like, this is just gonna give off a terrible vibe to whoever watches this pack opening. But seriously, out the packs. Alenteo also covered that. You want US print, and even then it still might be a little bendy. We've covered Digusto Emerald getting bought out a couple of times. It continues to stonk. There's only copies at 80, and we covered when it was like almost towards 65. Those copies sold. So people really are getting into the swing of that format. This is probably more for Edison, maybe Goat, but probably Edison. Dust Tornado Secret Rare has gone up. I did tell y'all to end up grabbing this nice Speed Duel Secret Rare while it was like $2.50 or $3, but it has gone through the roof, nosebleed towards $10. And then finally trying to get me to talk about my... How old is my win at this point? 15, 16? I can finally let it out of the house soon. A great Shogun Shion. Secret rares have spiked. Somebody in the Discord was like, oh yeah, that's probably also gonna be, for hat format. And I was like, no, Gateway was banned for hat format. But it's around $10 for the freaking Unlimiteds at this point. Let's actually find the lowest first edition if there is one in this buyout. There it is at $15. Not sure exactly what this is for, other than to maybe embarrass myself talking about old times. Now we got to the cards. Hypeland has their new Yu-Gi-Oh collab out. Most of it is the same old PNGs to a degree, but it looks like they've done some unique line work as well. A lot of the shirts have backs. They are a bit expensive, but they are premium. I buy them myself. This is not sponsored at all, although you can send me that nice Summon Skull vinyl wrap, Hypeland. I'm just saying, I did buy a good chunk of the collab, like this Summon Skull shirt, the Blue Eyes Toon. It's always nice to see Toons get merch. I don't look the best in white, so I skipped the Toon world itself, although I really do want that Summon Skull one. And then I also got the Exodia. I like that it's two different iterations there in terms of him leaning and then him standing up, front and back designs on a ton of these. And Dark Sage, just to torment Simo a little from the old day videos. But yeah, it's nice to see, you know, these brands doing stuff with more premium options. Bear Walker did original art recently, and they charged even more than these are going for. I think it was $54 for their shirts, but it's one of the nicest Yu-Gi-Oh shirts I've ever worn, and I did get myself one. I feel like with the premium that's going with these, though, like, it is going to block some people from being able to rep the brand, but I do like the rework on Pot of Greed. I know this one actually sold out for them, and they relisted, and most of these should be in stock or print to order, so I imagine that Pot of Greed would be print to order at this point. The Monster Reborn one is also very nice, in my opinion, but again, some people crave original art, and that Bear Walker obelisk did it for me, but a lot of these shirts do it for me too. I'm easy to please. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy these conversations and looks elsewhere than just get to the cards, because I really enjoy looking around at what Yu-Gi-Oh's doing, and the fact they already sold out of a shirt and now are probably on the print to order run of it, it's awesome. They also did tattoos for the first 50 people who went into the shop. I wonder what those actually ended up looking like.